I want to talk about church people. This is dedicated to many people who hit rock bottom in life or close to it. I know there are a lot of people out there that have, at one time or another, been to church or ran into a person who attends church regularly. Now, I've learned that there are two kinds of people. This is just the way I look at it that I want to share with you from my perspective. There are those who have met Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus, and those who have met Yahushua in the church. There's a big difference. Once again, those who have met Yahushua and those who have met Yahushua in the church. Well, what's the difference between meeting Jesus versus meeting him in the church? Meeting Yahushua involves a transferring of a spirit. To better understand what I'm saying here, look at Galatians 5, verses 22 through 26. It reads, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control." And it says, "Against such there is no law." Verse 24 reads, "And those who are the Messiahs have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another." And that right there happens a lot on YouTube. See, a person that has met our Messiah can no longer think and act as they did before without being tremendously guilty about it, or shall I say convicted. It's possible to meet Yahushua and go back to your old nature, but I can guarantee you, if you've actually met him, if you try to go back to your old nature, there will be a very intense wrestling in your spirit because you'll be convicted. A person that has met Yahushua in the church, they've often been taught how to meet our Messiah. People in church are often preached at. Then they are taught what to repeat. Simon Says church. Finally, they are taught to say a prayer. And this can lead a person, it can actually lead a person to Yahushua if the person is praying the sinner's prayer is truly sorry for their sins and want to turn away from them. In a lot of cases, people are convicted about their sins but have no desire to turn away. This is why people can easily turn into church people. Once again, what is church people? Well, they often attend church regularly. They can quote scriptures that they learned at church. They learn a very charismatic personality that is oftentimes not natural to them. You put on your game face, so to speak. You learn positive thinking. You learn how to smile, when to be nice, when to quote scriptures. But it's not natural. It's not something that gave birth inside that person. In other words, most of the things attained from becoming a church person is mechanical. It's rehearsed. It's not natural. See, a person that knows Yahushua, they feel things inside. A church person feels things on the outside. What does all this mean? Well, church people know how we are supposed to feel towards people, but a person who knows Yahushua automatically feels things for people involuntarily because they have our Messiah living inside of them. And they don't just simply love someone or feel something for someone just because they have learned it at church. It's because they feel something inside. Yahuwah's love literally controls that person. It pulls at that person once you actually met Yahushua. They're moved beyond their understanding for people, a lot of times you'll see people weeping and really feeling the weight, and carrying the weight for other people. You see, this is why many people get hurt by church people, though. It's because people often go to church and learn about right and wrong, but they only learn it to their own advantage or use it against someone else. They didn't simply hear the gospel and become sorry for their sins and turn away from those sins. In fact, they hear the gospel, become angry for the sins committed against them, offenses, and use what they've learned to bash those who have hurt them, or to bash those that are similar to those who have hurt them. There's an endless cycle of this.